Carol over here. I am battening down the hatches for probably the next 4 days in the cold weather. This is some of my old frost covers that used to be on the main gardens that now have tears and little holes and so on in them. And I kept the fabric, and I'm just going to actually use it to cover all of my herbs around the house because I don't want to lose all of them. This part is not something I actually do very often at all, because this is getting, if the forecast is going to be right, a little chillier even than our normal cold snaps in the summer. If you watched yesterday's video, you will be aware of how things are growing and what I mentioned about the forecast. They've been saying this all week. Tonight it should be right around 32, and again, this is the forecast for the closest town to me, and I'm usually a few degrees colder than that, so for that town they're saying 32 tonight, snow tonight into tomorrow, 25 tomorrow for the low, 27 the next day, and then back up to like 33, which probably realistically for me is still below freezing. So I'm going to see if we can manage to make everything survive here. I'm putting these covers on now, even though it's still a little warm and the sun's still out a little bit, because I want to kind of hopefully get some heat trapped under them and behind them that will continue to protect things I'm probably not going to take these for at least 4 days given what the forecast is looking like. So these are just going to be here for a while, but I want some, they don't magically create heat, so I need some sun or ground heat to be trapped by them to help protect from the frost. Now, the freeze. I tend to, given how cold it is here much of the year, I tend to think of as frost as any time it freezes and then thaws, and freezing is once the ground turns rock hard and doesn't melt again for 8 months. But 25 or 23 or 22 degrees is definitely a freeze, not a frost. So this is how I kind of protect everything. Now again, most things planted here can take some cold. The only one I have in here that really can't at all is basil, which is unfortunately one of my very favorite herbs and really does not like cold weather at all. So I always try to grow some just because I love it so much, but I never get a whole lot because of where I live. Now several of you guys have asked why you live somewhere so cold and miserable. I love the cold. If I didn't want to grow food, I would probably live somewhere actually even colder. It was that we had a couple sunny, nice days and it got up to like mid-60s, almost 70, and that is about the hottest I can take. And in this climate we have zero humidity, pretty close. I just do not enjoy the heat. My body doesn't function well with it. I get nauseous feeling, I lose my appetite. I don't like heat. I really like the cold. I like winter, and if I didn't want to grow food, I'd probably be somewhere even colder. So I'm not complaining about that. I'm just showing you guys, if you are somewhere cold, or if you want to be, or if you're stuck being and don't want to be somewhere cold, this is what I do to still be able to produce some food, even given the rather cold climate. Because this is now, I have to even look at a calendar, I lose track of the dates, but we're almost halfway through June, and we're expecting snow off and on for the next couple days. We'll see how correct the forecast is. They have a good reputation for being wrong almost 100% of the time here in the mountains, but all forecasting agencies I know of have spent a whole week saying that this is what's going to happen. Usually when they all say the same thing for that many days in a row, they're more likely to be right. So if they're wrong, hopefully they're wrong on the side of it being warmer than they forecasted, not colder, but either one could happen, so they do the best to be prepared. So this is walking down the little woodland path down the rather steep hill from my house down to the creek. My house was about almost 24 vertical feet above the creek down below here. And there is kind of a path down here as well. So you can probably hear the roar of the creek. This is the main highway that moose and such like to take in the summer. They only come right by my house in the winter because of the shoveled pathways. So what we're doing down here is when it's going to get that cold, a light frost wouldn't be a big deal. If it's going to be close to 20, I don't want to have the water freeze in my pump that's down here and blow it up, if you can still hear me over the roar of the water. So check out that snow melt. Most of the year this is a quiet little crystal clear creek, well I should say, for the summer part of the year. For the winter part of the year it's frozen solid. And right now it is raging and muddy. So over here, this is my little trash pump. It's called trash pump because it's able to pump water with garbage in it, not like pop bottles or whatever, but leaves and debris and such like that, which, as you can see from the color of the creek, is pretty important for the first half of the year when I'm watering the garden. Now there's two lines two 1-inch lines run up there to feed my sprinklers. Close these valves on both of them just to keep me from getting completely soaked here for a minute. And there is a metal housing on the pump here. If it froze solid, you could crack that and that would be the end of this pump. Now it's got, I'll show you up a little closer. These are called hammer nuts or something like that here because they are literally made to turn with a hammer, just like that. These are both on here pretty solidly. Get it a little bit loose there, you can turn it the rest of the way off with your hand. This is why I closed those other two ball valves, because otherwise all of the water running up the hill through a couple hundred feet of pipe would have drained backwards onto me right now. So that's just draining this little piece of the hose. And there's a second one here. This is the outflow that goes up the hill. This one comes in from the creek and I want to drain that as well. I can hear the pressure in the pump releasing when I take that one off. So when I next use this, when it warms back up a bit, I will have to reprime this pump to get it to fire up again. There we go, the rest of that should have back drained into the creek. I'm going to tip this just to be sure any extra water has come out. And now I'm going to open my two lines so that everything gravity drains back down the hill from up top. You should be able to see the water starting to gush out over there. So there you can see all the water bubbling down that was just in the lines going uphill. That means everything will be drained and should not be destroyed by any kind of freezing. Really out there where the intake disappears into the creek and being held down by a few boulders. That's going to just drain for a little bit. So that's what goes into prepping for a good hard freeze here in the summer. If it's later frost, I just do these covers. I don't always do the herbs around the house. A lot of them are a little tougher. And really hard freeze, I don't have to drain all the pumps and water lines. But that's what I've done, and hopefully in 4 days everything will have survived alive and unbroken. Have any of you guys ever lived where it can snow in the middle of summer? I guess we're a couple weeks now, just a little more from the longest day of the year, and that's what the weather's doing here. And again, I love the cold weather. It's just the plants that I also love don't so much. Hi folks, Ariel over here. Thanks for spending some of your valuable time watching these videos. Hopefully you found something beautiful, educational, interesting, peaceful, relaxing, or useful while you were here. If so, find more videos here, subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and if you like what you found here, feel free to like and share away so that others can benefit as well. You all have a wonderful day.